Hey everybody, welcome back to Monday Mailbox, where I, Guard, your extremely tired and incredibly handsome host, answers your questions for your entertainment. I am lacking so much sleep. I haven't slept at all last night. I got in bed and just didn't. I've been up all night. Let's get started. We got a slew of questions, and I will go and I'll be super frank. I don't got all that patience. So if one of these questions pisses me off, I'm gonna be cool with it. Let's get started. First question comes in. How would you buff Zhanhu, or otherwise improve him? Besides Tiandi, he's my most played Linn hero, and it's become very obvious at times that he just can't hang with a lot of the other heroes, especially in duels. Well, friend, you're right in that. Zhanhu's kind of doo-doo. Zhanhu-doo. Cut that out. No, leave it in. No, cut that out. I would only change one thing with Zhanhu, because it's a really easy fix. Just make at least his right unblockable track as good as his left. The top one does, whatever. It's top. He doesn't have to spin like a Beyblade to get that top one to work. But the right one should be pretty good. Maybe speed up the zone a little bit. That'd be neat. Next question. Next question reads, what do you feel about the nerfs to Jorm? I feel like it made Jorm weaker. Well, it did. So, I got a good side and a bad side about the Jorm nerfs. The part I was excited for was that they reduced the time in which the neutral heavy hyper armor comes out. It was pretty stupid. It meant that some heroes like Linn, Zhanhu, such like, didn't have a reason to attack, which is really, really boring. Because Jorm could just parry on light timing and trade with all of them. And it's not good. So I'm glad they got rid of that. It also means that Zhanhu's finisher mix-up, his main mix-up, it didn't work against it because someone could just see indicator, like, oh, it's unblockable, indicator, and they would just throw a heavy. Then they either got a parry and got some cool damage, or they possibly traded and got some cool damage. And it's just better that it's less than. So there's that. The part I don't agree with was making Jorm a bit. They made Jorm pretty clunky with the adjustments to speed and frames. That's a weird touch. It just makes it feel clunkier and it's odd. The one I don't understand the reasoning for was what was it called? Serpent Smite? The dash forward heavy. They reduced the hyper armor on that all the way up until it basically hit. They gave Jorm Highlander style hyper armor, where it's almost until impact, and then bam, white flash. I don't know why. The attack's not super great. It has good tracking, but it's a super blockable attack. So I don't know. It's a weird touch. It's not even like a popular move. What do I think about the nerfs? I like the one that has to deal with the neutral hyper armor. Oh yeah, and they reduced the amount of stamina damage that Jorm can do, right? Yeah. And like it affects the pause and such. Jorm's not a great character. If you lose to Jorm, unfortunately, it's just messed up. Jorm requires some hard reads to fight, but Jorm is not by any means an impossible hero or an overpowered hero. And if you have troubles with one, that's okay. I struggle against Peacekeeper, but Peacekeeper's not overpowered. I'm just bad at fighting Peacekeeper. By Jorm self, he's an overpowered. I like Jorm, and I like people who play Jorm, and play Jorm well. That's my opinion. Next question reads, what is your opinion when it comes to ping? surely you don't mean about the soldier from Mulan, because I love Ping. Ping's great. Ping's a great soldier. And a great man. Do people need godlike internet just to play the game? What do you consider high ping? You should have good internet if you want to play a fighting game, especially one that deals with such fast interactions with For Honor. You want some good internet. You don't need the best internet. I've just got normal Charter Spectrum, but we have some pretty good speeds on it, and I don't have ping issues until you get like way out of the country. I play with a dude from Germany, not much issue. Play with a dude in Britain and all that, pretty good. A couple people that live out in the Middle East, I don't connect to them so good, because there's a world in the way. It happens. So it depends on who you get connected to, really. The best internet in the world is not going to prevent you from getting lag from connecting to somebody in Australia, which is how that be. So I consider normal ping to be anywhere from 30 to around 70. That's pretty normal. That's connecting to people like across the US in different places, or connecting over in Britain. You'll experience a little bit of latency visually, but not anything that would change how you play. Above 70, that's when you start realizing, that's when you start skipping things. That's when things come out like remarkably faster and things become more unreactable. That kind of stuff. 70 plus, it's high. 30 to 60, pretty good. Below 30, that's God tier. That's land level. That's pretty good. Next one reads, if you could change anything about Highlander, what would it be? If I could pick one thing with Highlander, and change it, I'm gonna have to break this. I have to pick two things. If we can fix two things, it would give him 500 MS lights, neutral, and reduce his offensive heavy damage. This is how I feel. Next question. Oh, the final question comes in. What are your thoughts on, how do I put it, Shinobi's range attacks? Alone. Like if other characters had a range, for example, do you think range attacks should be in the game? Do you think they were done right? / wrong? Question mark. So, For Honor is a melee type combat similar to real world armed martial arts. It takes its basis off of that. In the context of armed martial arts, ranged weapons don't really have a place. Ranged weapons have a place on the battlefield. If you want somebody to be a ranged hero, give them access to bow as a feat. Give them access to a weaker bow as a feat, and have multiple uses that you can use quickly. That's an option. Shinobi as a ranged hero doesn't make quite enough sense, and it's a shame because the Kusarigama, although wrongly implemented in the game, it's a little bit different because the chain is supposed to be connected to the top of the Kama, and you can swing either the Kama as a ranged thing, or more likely you'll swing the ball on the other end of the chain connected to the Kama, and use it almost like a flail, and you have one Kusarigama and one Kama, or one Kusarigama alone, vice versa. However you want to look at it, there's a bunch of pairings. And there's nothing wrong with having good range, but they made Shinobi to be a long-range hero, and it doesn't really work out well, which is unfortunate. I think it'd be better for Shinobi if he just had really, really good range. In the same way that like Nobushi has really good range, where he'll swing it, and if he gets parried, he just gets pulled in for whatever normal punish you get. If you, a Centurion, let's say, parry this hypothetical Shinobi, you just pull him in with his chain, go for your knee to the face into the light. I think that'd be a cool solution. It means you don't have to worry about getting knocked onto the ground and having huge punishes against you, and it's real bad. So, I think the idea was good. I think the implementation was rocky. And to be fair, no one had done this before. For Honor was a new game, and no one had made a character like that before. I think in the future, like I mentioned earlier, if you want to make a ranged hero, what you do is just make it in their feats. So you give them a bunch of shurikens, kunai, you give them dart guns, crossbows, bows, that kind of stuff. And if you want them to be a dedicated, more long-range, kind of sniper-esque person, quote-unquote, then you just give multiple uses of it and turn down the damage on it. If you want them to do big damage, well, we already have that. We have a lot of heroes have bow, and that does like 50 damage, and it's real dangerous. So we have that kind of thing. So range here in the future, just keep it in their feats, keep it out of duels, make their moveset and uninvolve it. It just doesn't quite work out here. Anyways, guys, I'm glad you tuned in for this week's Monday Mailbox and put up with tired, sassy guard. Oh, man. If you want to have your questions answered in the upcoming weeks, type your question down below, or you can go into my Discord, and it'll be under the Monday Mailbox channel. Anywho, much love. Guard out.
Wow, what a great looking carriage! Good news, my horse survived. And now it's dead.
Oh, God damn it. I'm Johnny Wagon. I'm trying to sell wagons. I got this damn kamikaze.
Are you gonna start the sale or what?
It needs two more.
Two more.
Oh, explosive rounds are loaded. That poor Raven. Quote the Raven. Ah!
I don't think it's a Raven anymore.
Oh no.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching. I invite you to join my Discord, links in the description. If you want to help support the channel, donation and Patreon links are down below. Much love, guard out.